On the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Brought to you by Athletico Physical Therapy, proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Big Ten Conference. Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and Iowa Corn Promotion Board. You may think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Shields, we're right there with you in Des Moines, Sioux City, Iowa City, and Cedar Falls. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
University of Iowa President Barbara Wilson had ideas and a game plan when she arrived a year and a half ago from fellow Big Ten institution Illinois. Several have been implemented. Others are works in progress. President Wilson and her development team have raised over $400 million aimed at supporting student, faculty, and healthcare initiatives. Barbara Wilson sits down with us on this week's Fight for Iowa podcast. We're sponsored by Iowa Corn, Shields, Athletico, and UIHC.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Join Gary Dolphin and Bobby Hansen for Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey each week at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Coralville. Hawk Talk is 90 minutes of discussion about Iowa basketball. Check out HawkeyeSports.com for more information.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now, kids can eat free.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
University of Iowa President Barbara Wilson understands the Midwestern work ethic. She's an Appleton, Wisconsin native whose mother was born in Winterset. Wilson's sleeves have been rolled up ever since stepping on campus. She marvels at prodigies like Caitlin Clark, Spencer Lee, Chris Murray, Monica Sonano, Jack Campbell, and Addie Kenlon for excelling in academics and athletics.
We've got such great role models, people who are representing the Hawkeye Nation in such exceptional ways, and not just on the field or the court or in whatever place they compete, but in the community and with young people. And so, what better advocates could we have but amazing student athletes that love the university and that are they're leaders now, and just imagine what they're going to do when they leave us.
Students are under intense pressure. Now you add in social media where everyone has a voice and an opinion, not always pleasant. That boiling pot has created the need for mental health initiatives, and I know the university has been ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Well, and athletics has done a lot of work too. And I do just thank you for asking that question. I like to remind our fans always, these are students. They are young people. And the pressure that they're experiencing because of this exposure is intense, and it can sometimes be so mean. And so I really encourage our people to think about what they're doing and what they're posting in social media in all cases and places, because they're working really hard and they don't have to do this. They want to do it. They want to represent us, and they want to win, and they want to do it right, and we should be supporting them. So that's my little soapbox. But let me talk for a minute about mental health beyond athletics. One of the things we did about a year ago was in recognition of the extreme mental health needs that we have among young people today, is we instituted a new 24/7 365-day-a-year text, chat, phone service for students across this university. And we were responding really to student needs. Students were telling us it's great to have counseling sessions and mental health professionals at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, but we need someone on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock. And 10 p.m. actually, or midnight. So this is a service that we launched with support of Community, a social service agency in Iowa City, and it's staffed by a professional at all times who understands the mental health needs of students. And in its first year in operation, we had close to 400 calls that were serious needs among students, and sometimes friends of students, sometimes roommates, things like that. But I think it's filling a really important need that we have. And we do many other things, but that's something that we've launched about a year ago. So,
well done. Big picture, what does enrollment trends look like these days heading into the second semester?
Yeah, that's a hot topic nationally, as you probably know. The good news is we're doing great. We welcomed a class of new undergraduates this year, 5,178 new students, which is a 13% increase over last year. So at a time when many universities and colleges are struggling to enroll students, we are up significantly, and we're really excited about that. And another great sort of fact about this is that 45% are from out of state. So we are becoming what we hope will be our new kind of brand, which is a destination university for students not just from Iowa and not just from Illinois, but from across the United States. And it's working.
As well as it should be. And part of that will be in the future, in the immediate future. You're on the cusp of some exciting brick and mortar construction projects, rebuilds in the foreseeable future. What's that timetable look like, and what can you disclose at this time?
Well, it's a 10-year master plan. So people look at it and think, oh, my goodness, how are they going to pay for all of that, and how are they going to do it all? And I remind them, it's a 10-year plan. 10 years is a long frame of reference. But I think some of the exciting things that we're working on, we, of course, have a new hospital in North Liberty that we're working on right now. It's finally above ground. And that's really in response to the tremendous needs that we have for patient care across the state. We turn away about 2,000 patients a year for critical care because we don't have enough beds. And this will help us be much better at taking really urgent care issues across the state and making sure we have space and place and professionals for them. We've got a new plan we're working on for the IMU. It's about time the IMU gets a refresher. It was we were under obligations for the FEMA money that we took to not do anything with it after the flood for a good number of years, and now we're finally past that deadline. So the students have voted to increase their fees modestly to help us really take a fresh look at that student union. And it's going to have a student wellness center in it. And we're going to open up the back side so that the river is much more of a central part of the IMU in the back. When the weather's good, we'll have spaces and places for students to sit and for performances to happen. So we're really excited about that. So those are a couple of projects. We have many more. You've seen the wrestling facility that we're really excited about. And, you know, we've got a lot of other things I probably can't talk about quite yet, but we will as we get closer to them. Yeah.
That's a mouthful. You just chewed on there for us. That's great. Tell us about First Generation Hawkes program.
Yeah, thank you for asking. That's another program I'm really proud of. We launched that about 3 years ago. We recognized that a lot of our students are first in family to go to college, and to be in specific, 1 in 5 of our undergraduates is first in family to go to college, which is really remarkable when you think about it. These are young people who are coming to us. No one else in their family went to college, and they come often wondering, do I belong here? Can I survive here? Can I do this kind of college thing? And as it turns out, without extra support, their retention and graduation rates are lower than students who have the support of family members who've gone to college. So we launched a pilot program 3 years ago called the First Gen Hawkes program, And we wrap services around these new students. These are undergraduates primarily. We give them a peer mentor, someone who's an older first-gen student. We give them an academic coach. We provide a couple of special sections for courses that are tough to do well in. And after 3 years, we can show that the retention rate for these students who are in this program is actually higher than it is for our non-first-gen students. And it's significantly higher than for the first-gen students who aren't in the program. So you're going to see and hear a lot more about the first-gen Hawkes program. We'd like to grow it. Right now we have about 125 students in it. If you calculate our numbers, we have about 1,000 first-gen undergrads each year. So you can see we have some work to do to ramp it up. And we'd like to extend it beyond 1 year so that we don't just leave students hanging after 1 year, but we continue the kind of support they need. Start thinking about career options, start thinking about internships and that kind of thing beyond the first year. So we're really excited about it. We piloted it to begin to see if it would work. We know it works. And now we're in the process of raising money so we can support more students.
Always looking to raise money for something. And
yes.
All these are positive subjects we've talked about. As we conclude with President Wilson here on our Fight for Iowa podcast, you meet regularly with the Board of Regents. You bump into a legislator or two throughout your travels. What are the challenges in 2023 and beyond where the board, the governor, and the legislature are concerned? Everybody's trying to balance a budget somewhere.
Yeah, well, first I want to say a word about our board. They are great. I work with them all the time. People sometimes don't realize this is a volunteer job that they take, and they care deeply about all three of our regent universities. They're great individuals. The challenges we face right now are ones that are happening in every state. How do you fund higher ed in a time when state budgets are decreasing, when more and more money is being spent on K through 12 and healthcare and other things, and often public higher education is not at the front of the list of priorities. So, and that's been true across the country. Iowa's no different than any other state. So I think one of our big challenges is to continue to make sure that the state appreciates what we're doing for the state of Iowa. When I meet with a legislator, after I ask what we can do to help that person and their communities, I remind them that 8 out of the 10 dentists in the state of Iowa are trained by the University of Iowa. 5 out of the 10 pharmacists that are practicing in this state are trained by our university. 5 out of the 10 doctors. So, don't forget about the University of Iowa as you think about priorities, because we are playing a very big role in the health and well-being of the state and in the economic development of the state. So, gently but persistently advocating for what we do to make this a better state for everyone.
We all need a little nudge every now and then. I've really enjoyed our time again. Barbara, thanks so much for your time. Continued success this year. And this is
my sophomore year as president, so don't grade me, Gary, but that's what I'm in right now. So.
You're on track to graduate. We've still got a few years to go yet, but thanks so much for your time, though. And a general go Hawks for both our student athletes and students.
Absolutely. Go Hawks.
I'll be right back with more Fight for Iowa.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
You don't have to go to the game to get a game program. You can download it now by visiting the game day page on HawkeyeSports.com. That's right, the game program is now digital and it's free. So check it out. Get the roster, the stats, and fascinating stories about today's matchup. Just go to HawkeyeSports.com and click on Game Day.
Oh, you know that old injury of yours? The one in your knee or maybe back? Instead of going to the doctor and then doing physical therapy, why not start with therapy first? Athletico Physical Therapy is changing the whole healing process around. Their physical therapists will find the source of your pain and help fix it. Start with them and start living pain-free. Just like that.
It all starts with Athletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com. No prescription needed. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
We mourn those students murdered on the Michigan State campus Monday, February 13th, in the 67th mass shooting in the United States this year. Ariel Anderson, Alexandria Verner, and Brian Fraser died in the on-campus shooting. Police say the gunman, 43-year-old Anthony McRae, had no known ties to the university. Please keep our Big Ten brethren at Michigan State in your thoughts and prayers. Now this pause.
Hawkeye fans, join Rob Brooks and Lisa Bluter each week from 6 to 7 for Hawk Talk at Bumps Restaurant, presented by Oak Knoll. View the season schedule at HawkeyeSports.com.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you, because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
Hey, Hawkeyes fans, the wait is over. The Iowa men's and women's basketball teams are back on the court, and Shields has everything you need to cheer on your favorite players all season long. Take your game day gear to the next level with Shields Fan Shop. We have an unmatched lineup of gear, including jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more to help you show off your team colors. So gear up, Hawkeyes fans, and celebrate all season with Shields, a proud partner of Iowa basketball and hoops fans everywhere.
Now back to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Thanks again to Iowa President Barbara Wilson for her appearance on Fight for Iowa. I'll be back with another edition in a week's time. Go Hawks.
You've been listening to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Hawkeye fans, remember to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Once you become a Fight for Iowa podcast subscriber, you'll automatically receive the latest episodes of the Fight for Iowa podcast, the Hawkeyes Voice podcast, Hawk Talk replays, exclusive game day content, and more. Until next time, on Iowa, and go Hawks! The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.